How did you realize the new guy was actually an undercover inspector? It started with little things that didn't quite add up. Private Jake Miller showed up to our unit at Fort Campbell on a Tuesday morning. Fresh transfer from Fort Bragg, or so his paperwork said. Standard new guy stuff, nervous, eager to fit in, asking all the right questions about unit procedures. Our squad leader, Sergeant Davis, assigned him to my team for orientation. Show him the ropes, teach him our routines, basic stuff. Miller seemed normal enough at first. Polite, hardworking, followed orders without complaints. But something felt off. Can't put my finger on what exactly. Just little details that seemed wrong for a typical private. His boots were too perfect. Not new, but maintained like someone who'd been doing it for years, not months. His uniform fit better than most officers I knew, and he asked weird questions. Not about duty schedules or chow hall hours like normal transfers. He wanted to know about equipment maintenance logs, safety protocols, who signed off on training certifications. Week 2, things got stranger. Miller volunteered for every dangerous assignment, live fire exercises, vehicle recovery operations, anything involving heavy equipment or weapons. Most new guys try to avoid the scary stuff until they get comfortable. Not Miller. He jumped at it. During a convoy training exercise, Miller was riding in my Humvee when our driver started taking shortcuts through the obstacle course, skipping safety checkpoints, ignoring speed limits, basically showing off for the new guy. Miller started taking notes, actual written notes in a small green notebook. When I asked what he was writing, he said he wanted to remember everything for his family back home. Sounded reasonable, but felt weird. The real red flag came during weapons maintenance. Our armory sergeant Dave had this habit of letting guys skip the detailed cleaning checklist if they were running late. Just sign off that you did it, he'd say. Nobody really checks anyway. Miller watched this happen twice, then asked Dave directly about the official procedure. Dave gave him the standard answer about following regulations, but Miller kept pushing. What if an inspector showed up? What about the safety implications? Dave got defensive, told Miller not to worry about it. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. New privates don't challenge NCOs about regulations. They just do what they're told and keep quiet. I started watching Miller more carefully. Noticed he never seemed lost or confused like actual new transfers. Never asked where the laundry room was or how to work the phones. Moved around base like he already knew the layout. His gear was too organized. Personal items arranged exactly like the regulation manual specified, but no normal soldier follows those guidelines that precisely. It looked like a textbook example, not someone's actual living space. The breaking point came during a field training exercise. Our lieutenant decided to cut some corners on the safety briefing because we were running behind schedule. Skip the radio checks, ignore the boundary markers, just get moving. Miller stood up in front of the entire platoon. Sir, what about the mandatory safety protocols? The lieutenant tried to brush him off, but Miller wouldn't drop it. According to regulation 38510, we need to complete all safety requirements before beginning live fire exercises. Dead silence. A private just quoted specific army regulations to an officer in front of everyone. That doesn't happen. Ever. Unless you're not actually a private. Lieutenant looked like he'd been slapped. The exercise stopped cold while they scrambled to follow proper procedures. Miller just sat there taking more notes, completely calm while everyone else panicked. That night, I confronted him directly. Who are you, really? Miller tried to play dumb, but I pressed him. No regular private knows regulations that well or carries himself like you do. He finally broke. Pulled out an Inspector General badge from his wallet. I'm Major Miller, IG office. I've been documenting safety violations and training shortcuts in your unit for 3 weeks. Turns out someone had filed a formal complaint about unsafe practices. Rather than announce an official inspection, they sent Miller undercover to see what was really happening day to day. The next morning, our lieutenant got relieved of command. Sergeant Dave got demoted for falsifying maintenance records. 3 other NCOs received written reprimands for safety violations. Miller disappeared that same day, transferred back to wherever Inspector Generals go when they finish destroying careers. Never saw him again, but heard through the grapevine that our unit got a complete leadership overhaul. 6 months later, we had new officers, updated procedures, and the strictest safety protocols on base. Every regulation followed to the letter. No shortcuts, no exceptions. Our new company commander held his first formation with a simple message. We recently learned that corners cut in training become coffins in combat. Anyone who thinks regulations don't apply to them can clean out their locker now. Major Miller's 3-week investigation changed everything. We went from one of the worst units on base to one of the best. And every time a new private shows up asking detailed questions about procedures, we all get a little nervous.